How's it going, everyone? It's GadgetsBoy. Welcome to another video, and in this one we're going to be unboxing the brand new Huawei Mate X2. It's a foldable phone, and this is the latest iteration of their foldable range, which I'm actually quite looking forward to testing now and seeing what it's all about. This is also going to be a first impressions video as well, so I'll tell you how I feel after using it for a few days now, and I'll give you some first impressions on that as well. But so far so good. It's a really solid device, and just a shame about the big elephant in the room. No GMS on this means that you'll be lacking in some areas. You'll be missing out on some features on there. But besides that, design-wise, solid device. But without further chat, let's unbox it, see what you get in the box, and see what it's all about. Inside the box, you get everything you need to get started. So you get the phone itself, so the Huawei Mate X2 in black, I believe this is. And then underneath that, you get your usual booklet as well, so just give that a read. And you get SIM ejector tool as well, so you can get your SIM card in there very quickly. And then furthermore, you get a case in there as well, which is pretty cool. It's got a nice kickstand to it, so you can actually use it to stand up the Huawei Mate X2. So if you're going to be watching videos and stuff, this comes in pretty handy. It's got a nice finish to it as well, like a leather-like material, which is pretty cool. It will keep the back of the device nice and secure, and providing that it's a very glossy device for fingerprint magnet, having a case on there means you don't have to wipe it as often as you would without a case. Elsewhere, you also get a 66-watt charger in there, so fast charger, and a 6-amp cable, USB-C cable in there. You also get your USB-C in-ear headphones as well. So again, everything you need in there to get started and start using the Huawei Mate X2. First, to look at the device, like I said, this is a fingerprint magnet, as you can see there already. Loads of fingerprint on there, so you have to keep wiping it down if that's something that's going to really bother you. But like I said, you do get a case in the box, so you can keep that protected as well. On the back, you got your camera sets there, so quad camera setup, which we'll go into furthermore once you open the device up as well, so you can see what that's all about. On the side there, you have your volume rocker and the power button as well, which also doubles up as your fingerprint sensor, so tapping on that will unlock the device straight away. What you'd also notice is the bottom layer is quite thick compared to the top layer as well, because obviously the bottom layer carries a bit more in there. On the bottom, we have the USB-C ports for charging and data transfer. Microphone, speaker is there as well. This is a dual speaker setup, so on top you get another set of speaker there at top as well, and infrared sensor there as well. It's actually quite surprising that they've included IR blaster on a foldable device. It's quite interesting. And then if you look at the hinge as well, this is one of the slickest hinge I've seen on the foldable device so far. It's just nice and slim. It's nicely tucked in there. So compared to the Z Fold 2, you see how thick the hinge is on the back there in comparison. It just looks slicker on here compared to the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 2 there. And you can see the thickness in comparison there as well. This is quite equal. This is not, one's bigger, one's slimmer, but it has its own advantage when you open it up. So for example, when you're gaming, for example, you can have a bottom heavy device on the bottom half, and the top is slimmer, but also when you place it on the surface, it's quite balanced as well, which is pretty neat what they've done there. In terms of specification, this has got the latest Huawei Kirin 9000 processor chip in there. It's got 8 GB of RAM and 256 GB of internal storage that isn't expandable, so you won't be able to expand that. In terms of display, there's also a 90Hz refresh on there as well, which is pretty cool that they've included that on here. So when you're going to say settings, you have your eye comfort settings, and then you got your screen refresh rate, you got dynamic, high refresh rate, and you got a standard refresh rate on there as well for 60Hz. So you can change that to suit your preferences. Up to you what you want. You can do that on there. In terms of resolution, the internal resolution here is 2480 by 2200, and on the outside you have 2700 by 1160 resolution. So it looks very sharp. It's a bigger display on the front, which means this actually can function more as a full-on smartphone in comparison to what we've had in the past as well. Even Galaxy Z Fold is not as big as this when you compare them. So this is a bigger display. You can fully use it as a smartphone on its own, but obviously as a chunkier device, you must still prefer to just unfold it and use it in that format. One thing I really love about this as well is the crease on there. It's barely noticeable in comparison to the other ones that I've used before, which is quite good. So if I just shine a light on it so you can reveal that crease on there, as you can see, it's not as revealing as the other ones, even after folding it for a few days. Obviously, you have to use it for a bit longer to see if anything changes in that area, but I love the hinge. The only thing I'd say though about this foldable device is the fact that when you fold it, it doesn't stay in position of where you want it in comparison to the Z Fold 2. So you either have it this way or you've got it folded completely to start using it. Unlike the Z Fold 2 where it's stiffer, harder to open, but it means I can have it like this. I can put it there, I can put it there, I can put it there. Just either way I want it, I can do that with the Z Fold 2. That's something that you wouldn't be able to do with the Huawei Mate X2. But if you put the case on it with a kickstand, it means you can still have it slanted and still be able to watch movies and all that kind of stuff on here. So again, on the interior, you get 8-inch display, and on the exterior, this is a 6.45 inch display as well. And they look very good, looks colorful, vibrant, it's not dull, and I like the feel of it as well. It just looks really nice. They've done a really good job there in terms of the display quality and size. More on that display as well, something I also like is the fact that both inside and outside are both 90 Hz refresh, and you have OLED display both inside and outside as well with 240 Hz touch sampling rate on the exterior one, so when you're gaming you'll be able to experience better gaming experience on the exterior, but it doesn't take away from the fact that the one inside as well is still pretty good. More on the camera, you have a 50 megapixel ultra vision camera, so that's a standard wide angle camera at f1.9 aperture with OIS on there as well. You have a 16 megapixel cine camera, that's ultra wide angle at f2.2, and you have a 12 megapixel telephoto camera which offers 3 times optical zoom, and you have f2.4 with optical image stabilization, so less shaky photos when you're taking telephoto shots. And you have 8 megapixel super zoom camera, so that will give you 10 times optical zoom, f4.4 aperture. It's got optical image stabilization as well and supports autofocus. So everything you need in a camera, it's all there. For video, you can shoot 4K at up to 60 frames per second, up to you what you want to choose, or you can just leave it at automatic. Let's not forget, we also have a front-facing camera as well. That's 16 megapixel wide angle at f2.2. But the way this works is you can also unfold it and actually use the main cameras as your selfie camera as well. So if you want to shoot really ultra wide, you can do that on here as well. Performance is no issue for the Huawei Mate X2 as well. But if a Geekbench score kind of thing is your thing, here's the scores on the screen, which looks decent to be fair. Not the biggest numbers I've seen so far, but it looks good. But in the real world, this works really well. It's very fluid, very smooth, and gaming is also a great experience on here as well. First impressions, the Mate X2 is a solid device. Just looking at it, playing around with it, I love, even though some people might not like the heavier bottom of the device and the slimmer top of the device, I actually quite like that. The camera is something that we've used before on like the P40 Pro, I think, so the camera's nothing new there in terms of quality of what you can achieve with it, so it's pretty cool. Geekbench scores look good as well, screen quality is amazing. The only downside for me really is you're going to be missing out on some of the applications with no GMS on there, which is quite important for what I do for myself, but you can still use Petal Search to search for some applications, and most of them are verified as well, so you won't be downloading like dodgy apps on there, so I won't worry about that too much at all. But otherwise, great device. For the price, I think you can get something else on the market that's got GMS on there, but if you really are dedicated to using something like this and you've got the time to maybe explore getting Google on there, then go for it and see what that's all about for you. But I really love the design, if I haven't said that enough. The hinge is quite impressive the way they've done it. It's so thin and like well tucked in, so you don't really see it. And the crease on there as well, they've worked really hard to make that as invisible as possible, which is pretty cool. And I love the border around it. It just looks very symmetrical when you look at that front screen there. It just looks really good. But yeah. Okay, that's it for the Huawei Mate X2. Guys, let me know what you think as always in the comments below. If you have any questions, drop them there as well. I'll leave all relevant links. If I can say it. I'll leave all relevant links in the description area, so do check it out as well. If this is your first time on the channel, please subscribe, smash that like button, and hit the bell notification as well, so you're one of the first people to know every time I upload a new video up on the channel. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.